All right, Ken, you mentioned Joe Burrow a couple times. I have a question about Joe Burrow's career. Is it more likely that Joe Burrow will appear in another Super Bowl, or is it more likely that his career gets cut short due to injury? Which is more likely?
He is. Drake May is now sliding up there but going into his favorite player. I love myself some Joe Burrow, but I think it might be more likely that it's injury at this point.
Wow.
And I know. I think that there's so many good teams in the AFC, and he's not being dropped into a situation to where his team is like, oh, this team is instantly a Super Bowl every year, like 12-win team kind of contender. Like if you were to take him off and drop him on, like, say, the Eagles, just because the Eagles roster is loaded, I would probably say the Super Bowl, because his team's just so good. Like offensively, if they didn't play defense and it was like, hey, how many points can you score in a game against a set defense? Like, I would say sure.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that organization's run in Cincinnati, the way the defense just hasn't gotten better and like maybe even gotten worse, they just don't seem like they want to spend money. I would have to lean towards the injuries, because as none of these injuries are related, they're all just like related to Joe. Like it's not like, oh, it's the same knee over and over again, or with Steph, it was like, oh, it's the same, it's just ankle injury after ankle injury after ankle injury. No, it's a wrist. He had obviously the appendix. He has the broken leg. Then he's got the toe and the different leg, I believe. It's just like, it's a bunch of just different things going on at different portions that don't seem to all relate to each other. So I would have to unfortunately say that I think it's more likely that his career gets cut short to injury than him win the Super Bowl. And I think that's more than just a Joe Burrow thing. I think that also has to do with him being a Cincinnati Bengal thing. But if he was randomly traded tomorrow to the Minnesota Vikings, I would be more confident.
The Vikings.
No, I only mentioned the Vikings. Shout out to a guy I played basketball with on Sunday, and I worked with at Dick's Sporting Goods, Matt Lawson. His favorite team is the Vikings, and he was like, "Yeah, no, let's go give 3 first-round picks for Joe Burrow. Get Joe Burrow on this team." And I was like, you know what? If I'm the Vikings, I might give him a call. I don't know if JJ's that guy. We have a line, we have receivers, we have a defense, we have coaching. I might just say, hey, what are you interested in anything? JJ and a couple firsts, and he's always we can get him.
Vikings, man, like just real quick, man. That's one, like, as soon as it seemed like they might not bring Darnold back, I'm like, you sure you want to do that? You sure you're just gonna if it was a 10-win season, I'd be like, okay. But the fact they went 14-3, I'm like, sure you just want to just shell that out and act like it was purely
just
your
franchise him. Like
exactly.
Franchise. That's all you have to do. You don't have. I understood them not wanting to give a huge contract, but just franchise him. And then you see JJ's already gotten injured this year, and JJ's already been bad this year.
Oh
you put in Sam, and you're like, oh, wait. So now let's shop JJ.
Exactly. That was exactly what I said last year. I was like, beginning of this year, I should say. Beginning of this year. But
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. Like, just franchise him. I just don't understand why we wouldn't franchise him just to see. He's competent. We know at least he's obviously he's more than competent, but I'm just saying, like, he's at least competent at the position.
The way they handled that made it honestly seem like hubris. It made it seem like they completely believed it was purely their coaching staff. That's why I couldn't believe it. If it was 10 wins, we've seen that with enough quarterbacks where you could be like, all right, that is somewhat coaching. That is somewhat his ability, though. But all right, they squeezed 10 wins out of this quarterback. 14 wins in a 17-game season is no fluke at all. For you to just say, all right, we're cool. And you know what? Maybe I bought into that a little bit because I didn't think the Seahawks were going to be this good. I thought they were going to be a 7-8 win team. Sure, I didn't think they were going to be a 4-win team, but man, that's hubris to just say, no, we're good. We're going to take this rookie quarterback who, by the way, we hardly saw him play in preseason. I don't know. I thought that was a lot of hoop, and I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach, and I absolutely love Brian Flores as a DC, former Pats DC. I mean, he was so much better than Matt Patricia in his one season. Uh, Shouts to Brian Flores, and I thought he was actually okay in Miami. I didn't think he was terrible
He
in
didn't do
Miami at all.
bad.
Um,
Just too much of a hard head apparently for Miami to care and like him.
lot of hubris there from KOC. To answer this question, though, I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you that it's more likely his career is cut short to injury, specifically because Keenan. I think like most of these injuries have required surgery, and that's my big thing with him is we kind of saw it. It didn't really matter with Gronk, which is crazy to say because he was so imposing, but he had a lot of surgeries and he lost his athleticism, but he didn't lose his effectiveness, which we see that with a lot of tight ends anyway. See it with Travis Kelce right now, who relied a lot on athleticism, and now he can kind of just be that like Jason Witten style tight end where you're finding the right spot. So we see that across tight ends. But to use a cross-sport comparison, Blake Griffin had a lot of surgeries. And we saw it overnight. One day he was Blake Griffin, and the next night he was not above the rim. Blake Griffin. He was not.
It was a must-see BG.
He was not. He was not must-see BG. What the next thing you knew, he was on the Pistons and
shooting corner threes.
Shooting corner threes, and you might be lucky if you saw him, get 3 dunks over the course of 5 games, type of thing. And I do wonder if that's the case with Joe Burrow. Granted, he doesn't rely on athleticism, obviously, like Blake Griffin. But I mean, if you're missing, Keen, if you could pull up his like game log, like what?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we let's say since 2020, which I think was his rookie year anyway, correct? Was the 2020?
Yeah, 2020 was his rookie year. So there's one. I just want to say one thing before I forget it about Gronk.
Yeah.
The thing about Gronk is with the Patriots too, obviously, because the Patriots are the Patriots. But like the thing about Gronk is you can scheme an offense that doesn't have to involve Gronk as 14 targets a game and still be successful when you're smart and you're able to, and you have the pieces around it. It's kind of hard to scheme an offense without a quarterback. So it's really hard he has to be involved in some way, which makes a difference. But his year 1, 10 games because he broke his leg. They were 2-7-1 that year.
Played 10 games or missed 10 games?
He played 10 games, missed 6.
So he missed 6.
He missed 6. That was a year, I think that was the first year. And the next year after that, it was, I think, a couple of years, and then obviously 17. And he played 16 games. They went 10-6. They went to the Super Bowl. He played 16 games. They were 12-4. And then they went to the AFC Championship game, and they lost to Patrick Mahomes. Then played 10 games, and was out with the wrist. Last year played 17 games, and then this year only played 2. So, like when you read through the log, it doesn't sound as bad because, like, it really is 6 here, 6 here, and then this season for the most part. But you have to always think it was, so the broken leg, and then coming in with the appendix, and then it was, he never really had a good preseason. Like, this was the first year he played all preseason. And then that's why people like me, I was excited. I was like, he finally can play through a preseason because he's healthy throughout the entire preseason. Because then he goes into the appendix, and then it comes with the calf strain, and then it's the wrist, and then it's just the toe.
I'm trying to remember because he had surgery on this toe, I believe.
Yeah, he had surgery on his toe. He had surgery on the appendix. He had surgery on the broken leg, and then he had surgery on his wrist.
He did have surgery on the wrist.
Yeah, I think he had to have.
Because I remember, Because I remember that was the big topic of conversation last year, and what had me worried was he came back and he was still having pain in the wrist, so I didn't know if that was just he was letting it heal.
Yeah, he had successful surgery in November 23 to repair a torn scapholonate ligament in his right wrist. So he had surgery on his wrist.
So 4 surgeries and 6 seasons.
6 seasons, yeah.